4 different plans that are currently on the table right now to raise monthly benefits for Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, and SSI beneficiaries. We have a lot to cover in this video, so let's get into it right away. Welcome everyone, thank you for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video as it's totally free to do so, and I am back every single day to keep you updated with all of this information that is changing very rapidly, literally on a daily basis. Not only that, I will also keep you updated with everything going on regarding the stimulus package, future stimulus checks, possibly monthly recurring payments, raises to benefits like what I'm about to talk about in this video, as well as any other stimulus provisions or stimulus proposals that are hitting the table during this time. So if you like the sound of that, again, subscribe right down below the video, share this video with your friends, family, and social media, and of course, check out any other videos right here on the channel. Thank you again. I truly appreciate you. Let's get right into this. All right, so at this time, we actually do have 4 different proposals that are on the table to raise benefits across the board for Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, and SSI beneficiaries. Now, of course, with all of these 4 different plans, they all have different rules, they have different provisions, they have different eligibility, they have all different kinds of things within them. But in this video, I'm going to run through the key points of each of these plans. So let's get into it right away as there's a lot to talk about. All right, so let's go from most recent to like most oldest. Whatever. You know what I mean. All right, let's get into this. Sorry. All right, so number 1, the most recent plan that was recently introduced is the Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act. Now, this one is hot off the press as of not that long ago. I've talked about it in previous videos, but let's buzz through all the important information here in this video. All right. So the Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act, they want to raise the special minimum benefit to 100% of the federal poverty line, which would be $12,880 per year or $1,073 each and every month. Remember that number as we're going to refer back to this in another one of these proposals here in just a minute. Now, also with this same program, they also want to raise benefits for those beneficiaries who have been drawing on benefits for 20 years by another 5%. However, there's also a phase-in period for those people who have been receiving benefits for 16 years. They want to start raising benefits as a phase-in period for this 5%. Now, again, this would be on top of the additional cost of living adjustment that all of these beneficiaries would also be receiving on an annual basis going forward. So it's 5%. It's not huge, but it's 5%, needless to say, right? Still a 5%. But either way, they want to raise the special minimum benefit up to the federal poverty line. Now, that's a huge raise for a lot of people. So that would be, once again, $1,073 each and every month. All right, so that's plan number 1. Let's get into the next plan. This is the SSI Restoration Act. Now, we still have that group of 18 senators who are revisiting the SSI Restoration Act. This plan is specifically focused on SSI, Supplemental Security Income. What they want to do with this one is a number of things. Let me run through some of the really important issues here with this one. First off, they want to raise the benefit to 100% of the federal poverty line. Again, $1,073 each and every month or $12,880 each and every year. They also want to eliminate the marriage penalty. They want to raise the resource limit up to $10,000 for an individual or $20,000 as a married couple. These are some really good provisions right there in the SSI Restoration Act. So that would actually be really, really beneficial for literally millions of people. There's just shy of about 10 million people who draw on Social Security, SSI benefits each and every month. So this would be huge for nearly 10 million people drawing on these benefits. That would be big. That's a lot of really good stuff right there in the SSI Restoration Act. Next, we have the proposal out of President Biden. Now, this is something that he campaigned on. However, unfortunately, we haven't heard much about it in probably about 8 or 9 or so months like that. It's been a long time since we've heard anything substantial about this plan from the president. But this is something that he campaigned on, and this is something that he apparently thinks is important. Well, all of us recognize this is absolutely important, but we'll have to see if they actually implement this. Now, he wants to raise Social Security benefits up to 125% of the federal poverty line. Now, what's interesting about this is 125% of the federal poverty line would be, according to the current calculations of the federal poverty limit, would be $16,100 each and every year, which would actually divide out to $1,341 each and every month. So that looks like a good raise right there. I mean, that would be huge for a lot of people. But again, unfortunately, we haven't exactly heard a whole lot about this one in quite a while. But we have these other proposals that are on the table. In fact, the SSI Restoration Act is actually looking very promising. We have a number of senators that are currently working on this thing right now, and they're working their way through getting this thing passed. So yeah, it's actually looking very promising, honestly. Also, that other proposal that I talked about at the very beginning, the Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act, is also looking pretty promising. Even though that one has a lot of work ahead of it, it's also looking very promising compared to these other proposals from the president and the next proposal, which I'll talk about right now. And this one is from Bernie Sanders. Now, again, we haven't heard much about this proposal, but here's the thing and why I wanted to bring this one up. Bernie Sanders is the guy who is the major architect behind this massive reconciliation bill. The deal is, Bernie Sanders, all of us can recognize, whether you like him or you don't like him, that doesn't really matter. My point is, he is a guy that gets stuff done. My point is, he is very influential in Congress. He holds a very powerful position. People know who Bernie Sanders is. He's a kind of person who comes out and he demands stuff. He basically says, we're going to get this done, and he basically gets it done. So when he comes up with something and he wants to get it done, you better believe it's probably going to happen. So he's a guy of action. He gets a lot done there in Congress. He's very influential. He's been around a long time. And when he speaks, people listen. However, he also does have a proposal out there to raise Social Security benefits, once again, up to that 125% of the federal poverty line, which would be that $16,100 over the course of 1 year, or $1,341 each and every month. So again, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't really see a whole lot of progress with the proposal from the president and or Bernie Sanders. However, the simple fact that these are on the table, coming from two people that are very influential right there in, Washington, we need to keep focus on these because you never know. Maybe these will come out once again because ultimately President Biden did campaign on reforming Social Security and ultimately raising benefits. Well, at some point, a lot of us are going to sit here and continue to ask, at what point are we going to see these raises that have been promised to everybody, right? Well, there's a lot of people, not only me, but there's a lot of you out there and a lot of other people out there who are saying, we've had this promise here and we've talked about this. When are you going to make it happen, right? So it's only a matter of time until we start to see this. So we want to start to keep all of this in focus right now and kind of remember everything that's going on out there. However, we do have these other proposals that I've talked about, the Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act, as well as the SSI Restoration Act, which are looking very, very promising going forward as far as reforming these programs and ultimately raising benefits for literally millions upon millions of beneficiaries. It's looking really good. So I wanted to kind of break this all down because I know it's actually very confusing. There's a lot of proposals out there, a lot going on, there's a lot of talk about all this stuff, and it's kind of hard to keep everything straight as far as what's going on out there. Seriously, we got all these proposals, all these numbers, all the percentages, who's included, who's not included, all this other stuff. So I wanted to lay it out for you really quickly in this video and just be like, hey, these are the 4 proposals that are out there on the table right now. These are the 4 that are the most promising. These are the ones that have the most traction. These are the ones that have the most attention on them right now. And just kind of lay it out and just be like, here you go. This is what we have on the table at this time. So I will continue watching everything closely. You can as well if you feel like it. Otherwise, don't worry. I will watch it very closely for you as we get further information and updates on all these programs. Of course, I'll be right back, right here, giving you those updates as we get that information. So, make sure to subscribe right down below the video so you can stay tuned with all of the latest updates that I will continue bringing you each and every day, as well as go back and check out some of the other videos right here on the channel, as we have a lot of really good information. And of course, share these videos with your friends, family, and social media. Thanks again, everybody. I truly appreciate you. And just remember, I'm here to help out in any way that I possibly can. Enjoy, and I will see you again in the next